beautiful friends. Today is very special, I think, because I just got a text message from Mr. Tsering Tashi Kenpo, and he just giving me some questions for Rongsum Buddhist channel, and it will be moderated by Kenpo Tashi Tsering. I very appreciate about your beautiful questions. I'm very happy to answer. I apologize about my English language. It's really not so good, but I will try my best. So let's go to first question. Okay, my name is Tina, and I was working in show business for 15 years. Then after I quit the show business out of the stress and depression, and accidentally I just start to practice the Buddhism. Everything start with only single one prayer, how to overcome the stressful and difficult situation at that time. And everything just start from that prayer. So in my experience, I think that the prayer is very, very important and powerful. If you have really strong prayer, it will just happen. And my experience and the learning was just only through the meditation. When I accidentally just reached some meditative state, and the teaching and learning was just from some source, just going through as some another knowing. So it was a little bit hard because it's formless and it's invisible. You cannot ask properly. And then so I have like 8 years of practicing, not so easy, but it was very beneficial. And of course, firstly, from the beginning, I didn't know what was happened, like for first 3 or 4 years. And later, I start to meet the people. And so I was explained what was happened. And yes, of course, then later on, I understand that that was all the practice of Tantric Buddhism, like the Tibetan Tantric Buddhism. I know that for someone would be weird or a little different to learn this way, but that was how I have learned my practice. And yes, there was not teacher in a human body, human form, and all the teachings I received from some source as a formless form. So it happens that way, so that is why I am sharing you that way. The second question is, I heard that you do not regard yourself as a Buddhist, but you have a lot of statues at home as well, as participate in many Dharma activities as well as do Dharma practices. Can you share your perspective and experience about Tibetan Buddhism and why you would not regard yourself as a Buddhist? Thank you very much for your interesting question. I always have an issue about the labeling things, because if we label things as something, then people have expectation of that label. Like for instance, in the past, if I label myself as a singer or songwriter or a producer or director or something else, or many different kind of labels. So people will expect something from that label. For instance, like when I label myself as the director, people will expect that, oh, if you are the director, you have to know this. You have to know about all these equipments. You have to know all these kind of things. But in my perspective, it was not like that. It was like that I have to do my work that is need to be done at that moment. So if there was some job that I need to do as a director, I just jump in and I just do my job as a director. Doesn't mean that I need to know everything about the directing or everything about the equipments. I just need to do that part of job. And if I don't label myself as a singer, as a songwriter, producer, or director, or models, or anything, there is much more opportunity for me to do many different kind of things. Because I don't label myself as the one thing, then I can do everything when it's need to be done. And right from the beginning was really big problem to label myself as something, because I wanted to do many different kind of things. At the same thing is like with the Buddhist. If I label myself as a Buddhist, that means that I just put myself into a little prison. I feel that way, people will have expectation how the Buddhist have to looks like. If you are Buddhist, you cannot do this, do that. There is a lot of judgment after that, and because I label myself like that, I feel not so freedom to do other things, because the expectation of the people with that label. And if there is a label, then this person have this kind of expectation of that label, and this person have different kind of expectation of that label, and everyone are different. And so for me, for myself, I feel much more comfortable and free if I'm just a normal person. So if there is no label, there is less judgment and less expectation. And also I have a feeling that if I just label myself as the Buddhist, that's mean that I have to be really goody person, very good, kind person, and I don't consider myself as that nice and goody person. So yes, that's a little bit that's my personal thing, so I don't know is it wrong or right, but yeah, I feel comfortable if I don't label myself as anything, so I can be more free. Okay, that is the first questions. I notice you sing various Buddhist mantras and dharani. What would you like to see out of producing Buddhist music instead of your previous experience in the music industry? Yes, when I was younger, like 15, 16 years old, at that time the intention was only to become famous, and to become somebody, so that my parents could be proud. And so now the intention was changed, because after the while I practiced the Dharma. Yes, from the beginning it was very selfish. It was just for myself, for my family, how to overcome the stress situation, the depression, and the very difficult time in my life. That was really breakdown. And yes, from the beginning it was just selfishness, just universe just help me overcome this situation. And if there is anybody who can hear me, UFO or Buddhas or Jesus or Bodhisattvas or enlightened beings or anyone who can just help me, just show me the way. And I'm willing to do. I'm so tired. Or you show me the way how to overcome this situation or I will kill myself. It was like that. So then because the power of the pray was so powerful, because at that time you are in the middle of the emotion, then if you don't help me, I will kill myself. So I think that was strong enough to connect with that kind of energy of the enlightened beings or the protectors, helpers, or I don't know what to call, but they have many different kind of labels and names of us that we just giving to them as angels, protectors, yes. But I think that there is just one source of wisdom that is manifesting to many different kind of forms that will suit with many different kind of mind and characters of the human being, so they can help, because not everybody not same and we are different. So that is why that one source of wisdom have to manifest themselves to many different kind of form, even the formless or in the form as a human being. And yes, I just got that help, and when I just practice, the intention later was transformed. And then I understand that the Dharma is very important for human beings, for everyone. And the mantra, they are very powerful, because I have experience with many kind of mantras. So for me, the mantra is like a medicine for different kind of sickness, that you just transform your sickness to well-being. And that is why I think that the mantra is very important. And young people and young generation, they really don't want to listen to mantra, and they are lazy and they don't want to practice the Dharma. And so I try to just make the music in a modern way, so it can touch some like crazy people like me, And yeah, my audience, there are so many people who have a tattoo everywhere. There was very in bad habits of drinking alcohol, drugs, like that. But because the music is like touching them, because it's just similar and same like them, that is why they start to listen. And after that, when they listen, mantras are powerful themselves, even without the music. The music is just something that brings that mantra to a person, but actually the real power is the mantra. So the music is just the tool. For me, the music is just a tool that brings the mantra to that specific kind of audience and person, because not everyone want to listen to the mantra in the original way. For instance, for me, yes, I like to listen to Dharma in original way from monks. Yes, I like to. But there is so many people, they don't want. So I think that there is some wisdom out there. There is some teachings out there. There is some message out there that have to just comes out. And it just comes out in many different kind of forms through the mouth of many different kind of people. So some people, they look like me. Some people, they look like the others. And some people look like some monks, So that kind of teaching from out there just have to reach the audience. And for me, I think it's not so important how it will be delivered to audience, but the message have to be delivered. Yeah. So the questions number 4 is, what encouraged you the most from your audience? How do you deal with the positive and negative feedbacks when you encounter them? Actually, I think that what really encourages me is the benefit that the audience can get from my sharing. I can see how it transformed their lives, and that the sharing just lift them up. I just see that the Dharma practice is very, very important, and if you understand about really you understand about karma, you understand about cause and effect, that's done. You can live your happy, successful, wealthy, healthy life. And yes, many people ask me a question that that if we practice the Dharma, we will not get sick or something like that. I say no. If you practice the Dharma, the sickness will come, old age will come, and you will die. But your mental state will be different. You still get sick, but you have a choice to be sick and slowly old and die in the nice bed, nice place with a lot of care and love. Or you still can have a choice to choose another path, that you will not practice the Dharma, you will not know about the karma, you will not know about the importance to know about the cause and effect, and you will just go on automatic reaction on everything, and you will cause many bad karma, bad things for yourself by your actions, speech, and you will manifest to yourself the poverty, the problems, the hateness, and in the end you will get sick, old and die. But the way you will get sick, old and die is different. Maybe it will be very poor, in poverty, nobody loves you, everybody hates you, and you die on the street in the plastic bag, for instance. So this is a choice. We have a choice how we want to get sick, how we want to get old, and how we will die. And the deeper things is after the death, where will you go? For now, we just talk about this lifetime and very simple things like how to become a better human being, how to be beneficial to others, and to collect merit. So another question is like, how do you deal with positive and negative feedbacks when you encounter them? So even the positive feedbacks, I don't take them very seriously, really, because the positive feedbacks are really positive sometimes. They can, just take me up to the heaven, but then, one day it can just brings me down to hell. So because understanding of the impermanence, and we know that everything is impermanence and everything is changing, so even the positive feedbacks can change, and even the positive audience can change, and actually even I myself can change. Today maybe I'm like talking very nicely and I'm like very nice person, but tomorrow I can change because of some circumstances, because of some situations, because of something that I just suddenly change. Or maybe I suddenly say something wrong, something not so nice on camera, on video, and then I will just get very negative feedback. So sometimes, some dramatic things can come, because, we human beings can do so much good things in our lives, but just only small mistake can ruin everything, and people will forget everything what we have done in the past. And this is the truth. And if we see the truth that, okay, everything is impermanent, and actually all the beautiful things and good things we have done could be forgotten just by small mistakes, it will be gone. So if we don't understand this, if it will be gone, we will be very hurtful, and we will be in pain and suffer and depression and stress. So very important is to understand these kind of things, that everything is impermanent, and then because we are prepared our mental state, our mind, that yes, it can happen that way, so we will be not so happy with the positive feedbacks, and we will not let the positive feedbacks just take us on the cloud and think about ourselves that we are special. Because at the moment we feel about self that we are special, that is the like a seed of weakness. If you think about yourself that you are special, you become weak. And if you think that you are just a normal and you are no one, nothing, you just become more powerful. That's what I feel when I just practice these kind of things. So, and also the negative feedbacks, yes, from the beginning was hurtful, painful. Yes, of course, there was so many times I cannot sleep and cry and stuff like that. But then later on, when I practice and I start to understand what is behind the negative feedback, I just find out that behind the negative feedback, the attacking or just try to hurt another person is because they are unhappy. If they are unhappy, they trying to hurt other people, so make them unhappy like they are, so they will be not alone at that journey of unhappiness. So if there is some possibility to make these kind of people happy, then they will not hurt anybody else. So everything's like thing that just comes from ourselves. If we change, we become happy, then we will spread the happiness to others. If we are unhappy, we suffer, then we will spread the negativity and unhappy to others. So I think that if you want to change the world, if we want to change the world, we have to start with ourselves. Yeah. Okay, and there is the fifth question. What are some of your favorite books or teachings about the Dharma? Anything that is the most memorable to you? I don't know. I think for someone they will say, "Oh, so shame." Yeah, shameful. I don't feel shameful. I just really want to be truthful to you. I'm not a book reader. I really don't read the books. I learn in other way. Like I told you, I just sit in meditation, and then somehow I have learning through that kind of channel, and the teaching is just going through that channel, and I can learn through this kind of different way. The books, honestly, I tried 1-2 times read a book. I don't remember exactly what the book's name, but I cannot. It's just not coming into my mind. When I read, I'm just lost in the words, and it just make me, I don't know, I cannot learn from the books. I had a problem with that even in the school. I always was worst student in the class because I couldn't learn from books. I can learn from some talking. If I talk to someone and we discuss something, I say A, they say B, and then I ask C, and they answer D. That way I can learn, like through the conversation, because through the conversation there is like interaction between two people, and that is why I can learn, ask and answer. But from books, I don't have the ability really learn from the books. After like a half page, I'm just lost. I cannot remember a thing. I cannot remember a thing from the book. and after one page I read, I don't know what did I read. That's the problem. So my way of learning was never like that, and as I told you, it was a little different. And I think that is the beauty about the Dharma. That is the beauty about the Buddhism. That is the beauty about the enlightened beings, because they know exactly the character and the ability of the one. If I am not able to learn from the book, if I don't have the ability to remember a thing, and I cannot do it in this way, then the enlightened beings can transform themselves some way, like some invisible source that will connect with my channel, that through that channel I can learn. So this is little different, but yes. And then later on, like these days, I have received some pages about some practice from someone as natural thing, like, oh, if I just practice this, then later on somebody give me something that I can move on, like to another and next level. And yes, when I just received this kind of pages of practices, I can read that as the words. I read the words, and yes, intellectually you know the words, but in my experience it's like this: if you just read the words, it is just you understand it intellectually, but the real realization you have to really practice, like we have to really practice. Yeah, I'm sorry to using you. I should use the we, like we. Yeah, if the you sounds little bit like that I trying to teach someone something, I don't know, in English. So I'm apologize here. I would like to use the we. Yeah, we should practice. Really apologize about the language, because sometimes when I'm talking in English, it could sound like that I try to teach someone something. That's not the point. I want to share. And I consider myself as ignorant person. Consider myself as the person who don't know a thing. Because much more I learn, much more I see, oh my goodness, the thing what I know is just nothing, you know. So I'm not proud about what I'm saying, or I'm not proud about, you know, my knowledge. No. But maybe because of language, maybe because of my lack of sensitivity with the English language, sometimes could sound like that. So I just want to stress this out. Okay, so that is why I don't read the books, because I don't have that ability to learn from the books. And it is, for me, it is really much more better when I have a conversation with someone and I learn directly from the conversation, answer and questioning and answering, or directly from the meditative state. Like when I just received that pages, I just read the words and then I practice. And so the glimpse of the realization will come when we are practicing. So actually, you know, intellectually, if we understand something, yeah, but it cannot help really deeply, because I think that the thing that we need to really know is the thing that we know through the practice. And it is not possible to even write by words exactly that specific things that we need to know. It's just impossible to really explain it by language. So that's okay. Okay, I think that the young generation mostly nowadays care about the success, wealth, prosperity, and they want to be famous. And we are selfish people. We are selfish people, and I'm talking for them as I know myself. So we have the crazy desires that have to be fulfilled. If we don't fulfill our crazy desire, we will be unhappy. So now I think that this is the really beauty about the Dharma, real beauty, that the divine can transform their self into something that can help you overcome your bad situation, overcome your lack of money. You will be prosperous, wealth, everything. You will get to that point, but you have to practice the Dharma. If you practice the Dharma, I guarantee you that you will be successful. So if we talk to audience, to our people like that, people, young generation will really be happy about that. The only thing what they really now care is about wealth, prosperity, and fame, and material things. So if you tell them like, oh, practice the Dharma because you will collect a merit for the next life after the death, you will not be reborn in the low realms. Yes, I think that these kind of things will not work, because firstly, they don't really know if there is some another life after the death. The second, they don't feel that way. They really don't feel that way. They just feel, now I am poor, I want to have beautiful car. So now I think that's the beautiful of the Dharma, that the Bodhisattva can transform themselves to many different kind of forms, and like Zambala. And I think here my audience, all my audience starting from Zambalas, not all, but mostly, because they want to transform their life from the poverty. They have to pay their bills. They have to take care of their health. Everything costs money. So they need to have money to practice the Dharma. And they need the Dharma to have the money. So this is like hand in hand. And I think that after a while, when they practice the Dharma, with Zambala, for instance, and they see the result, that the money is really coming, they practice Dharma more. But because the tools of the Dharma practice, it leads to the final liberation one day. So even though the first intention is just selfishness, we want to be wealthy, have the material things, it's just absolutely fine. When you practice the Dharma, you will get it all. If we just introduce the Dharma in this way, it just brings a lot of people to the Dharma. Of course, after that, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, when they just reach the crazy desire, and if they do the Dharma practice right, I'm sure 100% that the result will come, because it's impossible not come. If you practice the Dharma, it have to come. If we practice the Dharma, it have to come like that, because that's the cause and effect, and it's so logical. It's so simple. If we do good, we just receive good, and it's just so simple. But to get to this simple point, there is a long way. It's a very long way, long path to really get to realization that really cause and effect, it's like merging together. And if we understand this, we can achieve everything, we can have everything, we can be happy, healthy, wealthy. When you just suddenly reach the point, then you are famous, rich and wealthy and everything, suddenly you will have that kind of feeling that this is not the thing that makes you happy, really. Benefit for others makes you happy. If you serve others, if you do something for others, then makes you happy. And we are here just for that. And even the Bodhisattva Buddha, they are here just for that, to benefit others, to help others. So but to that kind of realization, we have to go slowly from the selfishness, and slowly transform, get the crazy desire, find out that the desire is not happiness, and then just try to find a spiritual happiness, and then reach to that point that we understand that happiness is from helping others. I'm so sorry, my English is really, I have to brainstorm so much when I speak English. So yes, again, we have to be very patient with the audience, with the people when we're talking to them, and we need to understand their characters. Like, I have to understand my audience, I have to understand their needs. If I know their need this, I will introduce the Dharma practice in that way. So the seventh question is, in Vietnam, is the Tibetan Buddhism a popular religion? What do you think Tibetan Buddhist teachers can do when they visit Vietnam? Around 8 years before was not so famous. But when I practiced 2 years, I had a feeling that the Tantric Buddhism will grow in Vietnam very quickly because it's needed. I think it's really needed because the other branches doesn't teach this way, doesn't have this kind of mind. And I think that for the crazy desire, in the other branches, they just teach that you have to abandon everything. You abandon, let it go, just live in the present moment. But for me, is that questions how I can abandon my desire if the desire is still there. If I abandon it, it's mean that deep inside of myself there is some desire that I just abandoned. But after 5 years, 10 years, when I get old, maybe I will get a very big regret that I don't try. And this crazy desire, it is still deeply there because it was not transformed. So I think that there is a way, like for some who have really crazy desire, who want to transform them, I think the only way is just reach, get the crazy desire, fulfill your wish, and after you fulfill your wish, you have the realization that the wish you fulfill doesn't make you happy. That's the way. And in other branches is different way. And I think that the another branches, that different way will works for different kind of audience. But I think nowadays when the material thing is really important for us, and everybody really want to have that kind of material things and money and wealth and fame and prosperity, it is crazy these days. So I think that now the Tantric Buddhism have to come. It's really logical because the time is like that, because the difficult time is like that. So, and the people, they are a little bit boring. The young generation is bored with that kind of way. So maybe some of them, I'm not just saying that everyone, but some of them, they just want to turn to the Tantric Buddhism because it's much more like colorful, it's much more secret, and this is something interesting about that, that kind of something. There's something that can really attract the young generation. Some people is just out of a curiosity, they are curious, and it brings him or them to the Dharma. Some people, they really have that crazy desire, then brings to the Dharma. Some people are really suffering, brings them to the Dharma. Because why? I think the Tantric Buddhism is about the experiencing ourselves. And you have that experience in now, in this lifetime, and it's quickly. Why is quick? Because we are calling for help of another power. So if we practicing like the Tantric Buddhism, we are not just depend on our own energy, but we are connecting with another energy, and we are getting help from that another power. So yes, we are getting help from another power that is like mixing together with our energy, and we can learn much more quicker. And it's quicker, but need to be bigger discipline. And there's a rules, right? That you have to have really big rules. not killing animals. There's the rules is in all branches, but especially in the Buddhism, firstly you have to deliver the compassion. At least like this. The compassion have to be there. Or if you practice the Tantric Buddhism, it will go wrong. So the basic thing in the Tantric Buddhism is deliver compassion, love, kindness. And then you can go deeper. And if you go deeper, that is so really nice that it's transformed very quickly. And yes, so in the Tantric Buddhism, from my point of view, is very, very important that we transform anger, aggression, and we deliver, the strongness, the fearless. We are not fearless, no anger, aggression, and also compassion. These kind of three things have to be delivered for the beginners. So when we deliver this kind of things in the beginning, then we have the strong platform for ourselves to go deeper, and then another and deeper, and then another deeper, and then another deeper and higher. And it's all life. So if we just start to practice Buddhism and the practice, we have to do it all our lives. Yeah. What do you think Tibetan Buddhist teachers can do when they visit Vietnam? I think the most difficult things is barrier of language, because not so many people can speak language, English language, and of course not Tibetan. So your language is Tibetan, their language is Vietnamese. We have together language is English language, so there will be misunderstanding so much, and there will be mistranslation and things like that. It's really, really difficult this way, but Vietnamese people very appreciate Tibetan Buddhist teachers, and somehow the young generation are more closer to the Tibetan Buddhist teachers because of the culture is a little bit different, and somehow the young generation have a free feeling when they talk to Tibetan Buddhist teachers, because the Tibetan Buddhist teachers showing themselves likely a friend. It seems and feel like they talking to a friend, not to a teacher. So that is why they can get closer. And in Vietnam, there is little distance from the Buddhist teacher, monk, and students. There's always some barrier and some distance. There's some distance. It's not close. And so because of that closeness, of that friendship, they have a feeling so close to the teacher, like a friend. And I think this is very important, because this is my way how to do. I don't consider myself as a teacher, and I always look at my audience as my friends, only friends. And I'm only the listener, and I listening their problems, and I try to answer as a friend. And that's the way that brings them to the Dharma, brings them closer to me. If I'm just a teacher, they will be hesitate to talk. If I just consider myself something special, there will be big distance from me and them, or from the teacher and the students. So I think, yes, like the teacher and students should be more closer, more open, so the students can open themselves. Because when I talk to my audience, or I have the session, or I have talked to them, maybe sometimes person to person, sometimes 10, sometimes hundreds of, but I really need to become their friends and let them know that they are safe with me. You are safe with me. You can open yourself. And when they open themselves, I can see inside what is the problem. If they are not open, they are not truthful, they're hiding, how can I just solve their problems? So this is the really important things. It's how we can do that the students will open their hearts. Let the teacher goes inside of them to see the real face of the student, not the mask that we are wearing. I am wearing the mask. Everyone wearing some kind of mask. So, and to take that mask off, it's very important. So yes, I think, yeah. So for Tibetan teachers, I think in this way could be much more easy because they are more like friends. Yes. What is the greatest benefit for assimilating Dharma in our lives? Everything. The benefit from the Dharma is everything. We develop wisdom, health, wealth, get rid of the poverty, get rid of ignorance, light up ourselves. We will have everything in this lifetime. And when we go deeper, we will understand something, and we will have that kind of glimpse of realization. And if we will go deeper and deeper and deeper, there will be more realization of much more bigger things that if we talk about right now is not okay, because that's the big topic. So it's everything. Dharma is everything in this lifetime and after the death. Because if we understand that this is impermanent, and if we really understand that we can die right now, maybe next minute, maybe next day, we will understand the importance of practicing, because we don't have time and we don't know how much time we have. And yes, when we die, we know exactly where we will go, how we will go, and we will understand what to do. So if we know what to do, we will not be suffer and fear of that, and many different kind of deeper stuff. So the Dharma for me is everything. And even we are lazy sometimes. I myself so much lazy. Oh my goodness, I am so bad practitioner. I'm so lazy. I'm horrible one. But at the same time, I know how important it is. So sometimes I have to push myself. Yes. If I'm a good practitioner, yeah, I will be just practicing and not doing anything, and not be crazy about material things and stuff. I didn't transform that kind of things, and yet I still depend on material things. I still like the nice outfits, I am attached on that. And I think that I really want to be truthful for my audience and for everyone. If I am attached on that, I will say I am attached on that. If I am not the enlightened, I will say that I'm not the enlightened. If I say I'm ignorant, I am ignorant if I am. So I consider myself as ignorant person who just really trying hard in some way to transform and get to the true realization of many things, of the illusion, of everything, of deeper stuff. But it's hard. Practice the Dharma is hard. But in the same time, it is the only way to be happy. And it's the only way to bring the wisdom. Just the only way. So even, sometimes lazy and but we still have to know this is very important. So finally, do you have something sweet, short and simple to gift our subscribers on Rongsum Buddhist channel? Yes, I have. I really hope that everyone can find their own path, the right path that suits them to the practice of the Dharma. And I really hope for them to have a glimpse of realization how the Dharma practice is really important, so they will bring the Dharma to their lives, to their families' lives, and share the Dharma with loved ones and everyone they can. Because when we practice the Dharma, everything will change. Your life will change. Your intention will change. Your perspective of life will change. You will become a wonderful, beautiful person. And because of that, because of you become a wonderful, beautiful, positive, light person, because of that, so many good things and good people comes to your life and you will be happy. So that's it. And I hope may all be happy, healthy, and wealthy. Bye!